the only podcast where the host needs a therapist.
An issue for me that I've realized is I need external validation. I need external validation from women.
And wants to be one.
I hear you. I hear you.
From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport, New York, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Welcome. Thanks for getting your pot on. Thanks for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. Danny's here in his what Buffalo Bills hat is that?
I don't even think it's a Buffalo Bills hat. I think it's just a Buffalo hat. But I liked it. It looked cool. I got it for free as part of a deal.
A part of a deal?
Yeah. Buy 3 hats, get the 4th one free.
Where was this?
It's on this website called Haka.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How much do they charge for their hats, Danny?
I think it was like $20 a hat.
Oh, okay.
Not bad.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That's all right. Well, good for you. That's great. I did one of those things today where I'm rushing to get here. Traffic has been nuts.
Yeah, construction season.
I don't know what it is because I feel like it wasn't all construction where I was. I was just going through this area. I wasn't even out. Like if you're, this would be the equivalent if you're out in California, just staying in Burbank, right? So I'm just in Fairport, and it was wild today. Like I was getting pissed, and I'm like, and I don't think it was construction. Like I didn't pass any construction where I was, and this morning I couldn't tell if they made an arrest on the bridge of some murder that had happened in the area or not, but there was cops. I think they got the guy like who's on the bridge over the canal. I don't know. I needed to make a left first, so I didn't care. That was easy. The rest of the day was.
It's funny. Like they say, like daylight savings time. Like when the clocks go ahead or the clocks move back, there's less heart attacks when the clocks move back. And there's less health problems when the clocks move back that week, but there's more health problems when the clocks spring ahead and you lose that hour of sleep.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when you get a Monday off, and we haven't had a Monday off in a while, I think everybody's weekly clock is off by a day.
Yeah.
So it kind of throws people off the routines.
That may be. That very well may be.
It's a short week. I got to cram a little bit more, or I'm out of sync.
I did not think of that.
That's just my theory, Billy.
I was rushing around, and I ran into a convenience store to grab something, and I ran out, and there was another red car, and I opened up the door. It was unlocked.
It wasn't yours.
And I started to get in, and I looked down, and I go, wait a second, I left my phone in here. And then I go, oh, shit, it's not my car.
I've done that. Not open the car door, but walked up to the car.
I was putting my fat ass in there. Mm-hmm. I was on the way. To doing that.
Local podcaster Bill Moran was arrested today for stealing someone. I wasn't stealing. I stopped in the wrong car. Lock your doors, people.
Well, I didn't lock mine either, so I mean, I'm just as bad. Dan had texted me yesterday or the day before after Stevie Nicks turned 78.
78.
And you simply wrote, can we do a topic on how the hell certain people are still alive? And honestly, at first, I hated the idea.
Of course you did.
I mean, I was just like... You
don't like my topics.
That's okay.
That's all right. Go on.
Then I see, and this won't drop for a bit yet, but that Claude Lemieux died at 60. He just carried the torch out for the Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens.
TMZ is ruling it. Did you get the diagnosis?
No.
TMZ is ruling it a suicide.
Oh,
they found him in a warehouse the back of a furniture warehouse that he and his family own. According to TMZ this afternoon.
Well, they're usually right. But anyway.
That's awfully quick to rule it a suicide, though. When people rule suicides really quickly, I wonder about things.
Like you think he was murdered?
Well, no, you could I mean, something to consider. I mean, that's awfully fast.
Yeah, well, I think if I see a gun and I can, I mean, I got,
can you do some prints?
Or there's a note or something. I don't need to do a whole lot of assessment. I don't know. But suddenly I understood the assignment. I understood Danny's topic. Because some people dying feels impossible. Like you just don't expect them. And some people.
Like Kyle Busch.
Right. Exactly.
41 years old.
Right.
I'm immediately like looking online. Okay, do I have any ailments that I have to worry about?
Yeah, of course you did.
Dude, when you have OCD, you're paranoid about stuff like that.
I know. But some people, it just seems like dying for them is medically impossible. There are those, like I would have assumed that the following list of people that I'm about to mention had survived or could survive nuclear war, and I had put Ozzy in there, but Ozzy's dead.
Ozzy's gone.
But he's just dead. But I would say Stevie, Mick Jagger.
Definitely.
I think I only need to use first names: Stevie, Mick, Willie, Keith Richards.
Keith.
Yeah, Keith. You know, because Keith is not a man anymore. He's a, I don't know, a historical monument of some kind.
Well, when Princess Di died,
he's a landmark.
When Princess Di died, Elton John rewrote the Candle in the Wind for her.
Right.
And he got back together with Bernie Taupin to write it because Elton's not a lyricist. And Keith Richards famously said his claim to fame is writing songs about dead blondes. And Elton John responded by calling Keith an arthritic monkey. That was 1997. Billy, that was 29 years ago.
Well, at a certain point, these people aren't humans anymore. We stop looking at them as human.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because look, if and when, not if, when Keith Richards dies, most people are going to not believe it. They're going to be like, no, he's just shedding his skin. He'll be back in, he's just like crawling out of his skin and doing that sort of thing. But there are people that I was thinking about this and I go, there are people that I forget are dead. Right? It's almost like we didn't do enough.
I had to look up somebody today to see if they were still alive. This wrestling manager named Slick. They're like, no, he's not even that old. He's in his early 60s. I'm like, dude, he looked like he was in his early 60s back in the 80s.
Right. But okay, Claude Lemieux, right? It kind of works so well because you freeze athletes in particular in time for you, right? And I think that's where you don't think of them, especially the tough guys. And he was a tough guy.
Yes.
He was a tough guy in the league. They seem indestructible and violent and impossible to kill in any way or even hurt. And then suddenly you start realizing that the people that you sort of looked up to or idolized are older than your parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I was thinking about Hulk Hogan.
Thought he'd live forever.
Yeah. Didn't you? I mean, you were a big wrestling fan.
Yes.
Or are a big wrestling fan.
The thing about Hulk was that, like, he once he became Hulk Hogan, he was able to politicize his career so that he didn't have to take all the bumps and hits that all the other wrestlers had to do 50 weeks a year.
Yeah.
So that while all the wrestlers are dying, and if you go back and look it up, it's an average of 10 wrestlers a year, or it was an average of 10 wrestlers a year. It's tapered off since because wrestlers have taken better care of themselves over time. But, most wrestlers were like dropping off, weren't hitting 60 years old. He was in his 70s and he still looked decent.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Like Ric Flair doesn't look right now, at least in the face.
No, he does not.
By the way, he's another one that stiff somehow.
Yeah. All right. Chuck Norris recently died.
Yeah, Chuck Norris.
I would have never thought Chuck was.
He was 84.
I know.
He didn't look 84.
Well, it was the toupee.
Oh, was it?
Oh, he just peeled that back. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely had to be a toupee. It looks so fucking. You didn't think that it looked like a rug.
I never really thought about it. I don't really look at people like that.
When he gets older, when it was
older. I just found out that Silvio from The Sopranos was wearing a rug.
Yeah.
Like Stevie Van Zandt. I'm like, that's not his real hair? Because in one of his final seasons, he's in the hospital and his toupee is messed up. So I figured that, it has got to be his real hair. No, it wasn't.
He always wore the bandanas.
Yeah.
Right. Out. Yeah. Like when he's out being.
Hey, Bruce, we got to do another one.
Okay. Rock musicians. Here's one, and I often forget he's dead. As a matter of fact, I was listening to his station today, and he came on.
Tom Petty.
You got it.
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
Died in 2017?
I know. And it's like, right. And here's the weird part. Sometimes the cleaner living people, they disappeared younger.
Phil Lesh.
Well, yeah, but Phil was, he was in his 70s, almost 80.
Yeah, that's true. You're
okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's not what I'm talking about, the cleaner living people instead of these chaos demons, Keith Richards was a chaos demon, and he's still here. And I'm thinking, think about the guy that you'll read about it every once in a while. Well, he lived to 92. He drank a shot of whiskey and smoked a couple of cigarettes every day of his life since he was 13. And you're like, oh, my God. And another guy eats salmon and meditates, and he's dead at 45.
Right.
I mean? It's like,
fantastic, isn't it? It's just unbelievable.
It's like your uncle survives 3 triple bypasses, and then he slips on some ice in Wegmans, and it takes him out.
Dude, my cousin,
you know what I mean?
my cousin
like,
has.
Whoa, what happened?
My cousin's maternal grandmother lived to be 90. She smoked 3 packs of Pall Malls a day.
Shut up.
And the University of Buffalo asked if they could study her body, because when she was in the hospital, she was in hospice. They're like, okay, she's going on. And some doctors came over and said, hey, do you mind if we take your mother's body and just study it? Because she didn't die of cancer.
Oh.
She just died of old age, just eventual renal failure or whatever. But her lungs had no issues. They checked her out. She didn't have cancer. So okay, what was it about this woman that she was able to live this? Or George Burns is a great example.
Well, he went to 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he smoked cigars all the time.
Did he make it to 100 or 99?
I thought he made it past 100.
I think he was 100. I think he might have made it to 100, which is great.
Did he do a movie at 80?
Was it an Oh God movie?
I don't know. It might have been.
He had done a bunch.
He had
of
a grandkid. I don't remember.
I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, look, Paul Newman was racing cars at 82. He was in the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Meanwhile, yesterday, it was 4 years that Ray Liotta passed. It's been 4 years.
Oh my God! I keep forgetting he's dead. Remember he did the didn't he do the some kind of
Chantix?
There was some kind of anti-smoking thing.
Yeah, Chantix.
I'm Ray Liotta. It's like,
yeah, right. He just did the Sopranos movie, and then he did that Cocaine Bear movie, and then he died.
Oh, fuck.
He died after the Cocaine Bear movie came out. That was supposed to be the Sharknado of that year.
If we did a quiz and he was on there, I'm putting him down as alive. Mm-hmm. I totally forgot.
Remember we used to do the death draft?
Oh, yeah.
At CMF, and Tommy said Spiro Agnew, and then people called Spiro Agnew's been dead since 98. And Tommy argued that he should get half a point because nobody realized it.
He's not wrong.
By the way, every year on President Clinton's birthday, they put a side-by-side of him and Sammy Hagar, right? Because they're the same age.
Right.
And look, tequila, women.
Right. I know.
Although I'm sure Sammy's had his share too.
Well, I think that I would say it's 2 completely different stressors in life.
Yeah, one is the stress of the world. The other one's stress of dealing with Eddie Van Halen.
It's not.
Or the Van Halen brothers.
You can't put that in the same category in my mind. You just can't do that. But I feel like human beings desperately want life to operate like a vending machine. You know what I mean? I put vitamins. I put awful tasting supplements and therapy into this body.
I want results.
I want immortality to come out. And there's nothing, it doesn't happen.
No.
And that's where we
Heart's only got so many beats.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
That's what I'm told. I don't know.
I don't either. I had somebody say to me once, your heart has so many beats. What are you running for? You're going to run out of beats early.
I've heard that too.
And I go, come on. But then there's the people who pop on the planet looking like they're Morgan Freeman. He was born looking like he was 63 years old.
I'm Morgan Freeman.
You know what I mean?
Well, that was a big joke about Abe Vigoda.
Oh, God.
On Letterman, Abe Vigoda once a year would come out and breathe on a mirror just to prove that he was still alive. The fact is he looked
so funny that he was willing to do that.
Yeah, he looked the same age for 40 years.
He looked, I think
The Godfather, Barney Miller, Fish.
I think on Barney Miller, he was in his 40s.
Yeah.
I think 48 or something. I don't know. Steve Martin, I think, has had white hair since the Nixon administration. Now, he doesn't look terribly old, but it is something our mind does or plays tricks on. That gray hair looks old. Mm-hmm. You know, it looks old.
Well, he's looked the same now that he did in Father the Bride, which came out in 92.
Right.
Or even The Jerk in 89. He still had white hair.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's it's always been that way.
Yeah.
You'll see if you go back to his comedy days, and he had comedy albums back in the early 70s. He had darker hair.
Yes.
But it
was gray, though. It was like a dark gray. Black with, like, it had, like, Paulie Walnuts texture to it.
I guess.
Gray on the sides.
Yeah.
When he did the bit about banks, like Fred, nobody ever names a bank Fred's Bank.
No, I don't remember that. Larry David came out looking like he was always annoyed with the world.
The thing about Larry David, though, is that we didn't know who Larry David was until after Seinfeld. He stayed behind the scenes.
That's true. Well, he did. He tried stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. He used to yell at the audience when he had some really good jokes.
Yeah, he didn't have the patience. He was a writer. Then they created that show around him, Curb Your Enthusiasm, to make him...
Right.
To bring out his funny, because he was hilarious. He was half a Seinfeld.
I think that the person I will be surprised when they die, because they seem somewhat immortal to me, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, because Kevin Bacon's always looked young, if you think about it.
Even now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's great in every role. He's great in every role. Like, I have not seen Kevin Bacon in a role where I went, and it's just Kevin Bacon being Kevin Bacon. He can play a sleazy guy. He can play a bad guy. He can play the good hero. He's versatile, man. That dude is really talented.
Oh, it certainly is. You know who else is? Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage has looked the same for 34 years, too. He's the same guy from The Rock, same guy. And now he's going to do that Spider Noir show.
I don't know.
So it's like Spider-Man, but it's like Spider-Man in like the 40s or 50s.
Oh, really?
I guess. And it's like you can watch it in black and white or you can watch it in, quote, Technicolor.
Oh.
Because the idea is taking a black and white show and putting it into, quote, Technicolor, which is what they did when color television became a thing.
That's interesting.
I might just check it out just for that.
What is it on?
It's on Prime.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Everyone's got Prime, right?
I do, and I need it for delivery to everybody I forget, including yourself. It's birthday. Mostly it's family. Yeah. Oh, shit. It's my nephew's birthday. Well,
I'll tell you what. For that price, I don't care, man. It makes things a lot easier.
Oh, my God, yeah. Oh, my God. That's totally... I'm trying to think of other celebrities. Once you put this in my... I was kicking around, and then I saw the Claude Lemieux. There are people like you forget they're dead. Maybe you forget, or there wasn't enough announcement. Now, this guy was in the news a lot, but I always forget Gene Hackman's dead.
Yeah, I do too.
And I hadn't seen him in a while.
And then we forget that like how he died was even nuttier than Daddy's dead.
It sounds like a murder-suicide. I don't know.
But they were in separate rooms, or he may have died first. I don't know.
Yeah, it was strange, right?
But he didn't have all his marbles, and he hadn't had all of his marbles for some time. Lowe's, let's build something together. He was the voice of Lowe's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I did that. I'm sorry. But yeah, he was the voice of Lowe's.
Look at that. I didn't know that.
He also looked the same throughout all the Superman movies, Hoosiers. 4 passes before you shoot.
He did. Did you say Superman movies?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. He was Lex Luthor. Yeah, he did. There were a couple movies
And he outlasted all the Supermen.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Wasn't there a Superman curse?
I don't know. I only knew them.
All of them died.
Who else died? All the way up to Reeves?
George Reeves died of a gunshot wound that was self-inflicted, but supposedly he didn't think the gun was loaded.
Why do you know this?
Because Ben Affleck did a movie where he played George Reeves playing Superman. That's how I know that. And the first Superman, I was told that, because when Christopher Reeve had his accident, equestrian accident, left him paralyzed. There was a lot of debate about stem cell research at the time, and could this help him walk? And he was trying to walk, and he couldn't. And then my father tells me, "Oh yeah, the other guys who played Superman all died of tragic deaths too." I go, "No kidding." He goes, "Yeah, it's like a curse or something." I said, "Oh, okay." Because I don't believe in curses, but it's just kind of odd.
It is odd. It is.
And then his wife died too. Christopher Reeves died.
Oh yeah.
Wife died not too long
cancer.
after. Yeah, she had cancer. She's still young though.
Yeah. Now his son is on Good Morning America.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's contributing to Good Morning America, or he's on there. I don't know. So,
I feel like I'm yelling. I apologize.
Nah, it's usually how you.
That's how I talk. As long as I'm not puking.
Well, there's people who are you're shocked they're dead because their personality's so big. Like, I got to be honest. Like, I know he's dead, but Sam Kinison, that was a big personality. It was a big, loud personality. And it's like one of those ones I think the world could use that voice today. I often forget and really liked him. Norm Macdonald, dead, cancer. So, they never really said anything. I'm going to feel that way about Jack Nicholson. I'll definitely feel that way about Kevin Bacon. Like these guys, they just seem like their personality's too big to die. And I don't know.
Well, remember, I think it was the end of like 2020, 2021. You know, a lot of times these things happen in threes.
Yeah.
And Bob Saget dies, and he dies in a very weird fashion. Like he fell, hit his head,
And went to bed,
and then didn't wake up.
Right.
And then People magazine puts Betty White on the cover. Betty White had 100, and she hadn't been 100 yet. The magazine's due to come out, and she ends up dying. So Bob Saget and Betty White are both dead, and this meme comes out because the internet is undefeated. They show Betty White and Bob Saget taking a picture together, and they dress it up like it's heaven. And it says, "What do you want for dinner?" And she goes, "How about meatloaf?" And Meatloaf dies.
Oh, my God.
Of COVID. He wouldn't get the shot.
I forgot he's dead.
Right.
I forgot he's dead.
You know who else I forgot died today? And he died when we were doing a show together, and I remembered the joke some caller made about it.
Who was it?
Gary Coleman. I forgot that Gary Coleman died because I always confuse him with Emmanuel Lewis, which, by the way, is he alive still?
I think so.
So Gary Coleman, some guy calls it. He goes, "You know what they ought to do?" Like he was telling you and Tommy, "You know what they ought to do? They ought to bury him in one of those Coleman coolers." And then he opens up the cooler and goes, "What you talking about, Willis?" And it was such a dumb joke, but Tommy couldn't stop laughing because it was so stupid, but it made so much sense because Gary Coleman could fit in a Coleman cooler.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. It's weird because celebrity deaths sort of hit differently. When Michael Jackson sort of hit differently with that stuff. And I often think,
oh gosh,
well,
we were working together like this is our Elvis, and you go, hey, go out and ask people on the street about if they know any Michael Jackson jokes because there were a ton of them.
Yeah.
And I remember, like DKX at the time was playing Mike. They just went wall to wall Michael Jackson,
right.
and people in the neighborhood were playing Michael Jackson, and you could hear it in the windows.
I know,
right? And what was funny was that people like who want to show off and show how sophisticated they are, even though it does the opposite. They take their speakers and put them outside their window so that you have to hear the music. It's not enough that they hear it.
But they were celebrating. Look, that dude had a legacy and a talent that was unmatched.
And now we're starting to think that, he didn't touch anybody.
No, I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. But like Michael Jackson, so I go down the street and I got about 7 or 8 Michael Jackson jokes. Our whole show the next day was just 4 hours of people calling up and repeating the same Michael Jackson jokes over and over and over.
I mean, if you're going to die and I have a microphone and I have people who can work and do things, I kind of gave
that was the same day that JT, our old boss, and then Stan Main, your former boss, both called you up and said, "Hey, buddy, what are you doing for a show tomorrow?" Because the consultants, the two of them, needed help.
You think so?
Coming up with ideas for other people's shows.
I think that's really true. I do think that's true.
And then I came up with the promo about Bill Moran, the man the consultants call to solve their problems.
They did call me, both of them, and Stan was the guy. Forgot about that.
You're like, I got Danny out on the street asking people for Michael. Oh, that's great. That's a great idea. I'm going to use that for Connie and Fish out in North Dakota.
Well, I got a call like going, Michael Jackson's dead. What are you going to do? I don't know. Phil will come in and do his Michael Jackson.
And then Phil got fired. So you called Phil.
Yes, I did. Hey, no, wait.
It gets better.
He was so bad.
He was pissed.
God, I forget.
He was livid.
Oh, thank God you're here to have this memory because I would never, ever.
And you hated this topic.
What topic?
No, originally I hated this topic, but then I thought about it.
Well, no, I didn't hate. I said I hated it, but I was just like, I don't know where to go with it. And then I saw
Claude Lemieux
died, and I'm like, okay, all right, let me beat
this. And he's the second athlete to die in a week.
Right, but I think that when
actually third, if you count Bob Horner, but nobody listening to this show knows who Bob Horner is.
Yeah. Who's the second?
Or Manny Fernandez, who played for the Dolphins. The first one was Kyle Busch.
Oh yeah.
And then Bob Horner. Bob Horner's wasn't that old. He played for the Atlanta Braves alongside Dale Murphy. It's your generation, actually.
Yeah.
When you were coming up, that's when he played. Yeah. And then Manny Fernandez was on the back-to-back 72, 73 Dolphins teams that won Super Bowls. And then, but he was in his 70s. And then, of course, when a football player gets past 70, man, it's like a bonus.
I know.
Because, like,
they beat the shit out of
it's taking like 10, 15 years off your life. But then, of course, Claude Lemieux dies. And even I was like, wait a minute, what, was he sick?
Yeah.
And then TMZ. Okay.
Well, I mean, I hope that's not. I
hope it's not the case.
I don't.
I hope he was just murdered. You know what I'm saying, Bill? They both suck. Both scenarios are awful.
Unfortunately, I totally.
This is where we're at.
I totally understand.
But with Phil Billy.
Yeah, tell me what happened with Phil Billy.
So Phil Billy had gotten laid off. So Phil.
Did he go off crazy? Half-cocked?
He didn't go off half-cocked. What happened was he got. Remember the movie Friday? How do you get fired on your day off? He got one day off a week. It was Wednesday. It's my full, complete day off. I just want to have one day where I'm not working at the library and I'm not working. I'm not working for the school.
Say he was
watching the book.
Out of the Wayne County Library.
Watching the book.
Watching the book.
So Phil.
Why is that so funny to me?
Because Tommy and you made it funny.
Oh, God, that made me laugh every fucking time.
So Phil. I had to go announce a Red Wings game at 11 o'clock to PA. I get a call from you. I'm in my truck. I got one foot out in the parking lot. The others, hey, they let Phil and Rich go. I go, let them go where? They got laid off, Dan. You're in charge now. I'm like, oh, crap. He goes, poor Phil got fired on his day off. So a month and a half. So this was in May. Michael Jackson died, I think, the same day as my father, June 25th. Yes. And Farrah Fawcett died the same day.
Yeah.
So what happens is you call Phil and go, Phil, buddy, listen. I need a favor.
Well,
I know what you want. You want me to call up and talk about Michael Jackson, but I don't want to help Entercom. And you go, that was the company we worked for. And you go, well, he wouldn't be helping Entercom. He'd be helping me and Tommy and Danny do a show. And he goes, actually, I'm just too upset about Michael. So it really had nothing to do. I think it was part of it was getting fired, but the other part of it.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he told you, I'm just upset about Michael. And he was a diehard Michael Jackson fan. At one point, he did a parody song, Ebony and Ivory, of Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson doing a parody song together, and it got used in Auckland, New Zealand at a radio station.
Oh God!
So then later, the next week they had a Michael Jackson tribute at Water Street. So Rich and Phil were both there.
Phil were there.
So you asked me and Duffy to go down and tape. And I asked Phil.
Phil went off.
And he went off. Phil Billy's dead.
Yeah.
Phil Billy's dead.
Didn't we play
then
that?
I started slowing it down. Phil Billy's dead.
Didn't we play it over and over?
I would speed it up and slow it down. Tommy goes, bro, you gotta have some fun with that, bro. Phil Billy's dead.
Poor Phil.
Then you go on vacation. Tommy goes on vacation, and guess who gets hired back to do traffic?
Phil
Sherman.
Right. Yeah. Well.
So Cato decides while you guys are out, it's me, Cato, and Phil. Instead of running a best of in the last segment of the show,
he wants to do a talk show.
We get on the air to welcome Phil Billy. Hey guys, we got a surprise for you. We're breaking news. Yeah, Bill and Tommy are on vacation, but we got somebody who's coming back to do our traffic. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Sherman is back.
That is too damn funny. That is too. Well, here, that's so funny. Phil Billy is dead. Well, a celebrity died. I think the one thing I'll sum it up this way: when a celebrity dies, and you point out Kyle Busch, a great example at 41 years old, pneumonia and kind of pushing yourself too hard. I would assume is kind of what happened. But it reminds us there's no formula. There's no guarantee. There's no amount of kale. There's no amount of cocaine. that guarantees anything. You know what I'm saying? And still, I will say this. I absolutely believe this. If Keith Richards outlives almost everybody in the Stones, I'm switching my vitamins. I'm going to switch my vitamins. I will say that.
But
yeah, go ahead.
Look, Michael Jamal Warner died about a year ago. It was a shock.
I forgot about that.
He drowned. He was trying to save his daughter. And then, what was the other? Oh, Dick Van Dyke is over 100 years old.
Right.
And the big meme was he couldn't play Legos because they're only for kids 4 to 99.
Yeah, oh, that's funny. That's funny.
But, man, his show is still on CW. They run it every night. And, man, it's like...
What, the Mary Tyler Moore show? Oh, the Dick Van Dyke show.
Dick Van Dyke show.
I love the Dick Van Dyke
because he was always so wholesome and friendly.
Yeah, but
I had a chance to interview him once. He was fantastic.
It was a... Yeah, it was a great show, and they did it. They said they were going to do it if it hit for 5 years, only 5 years, and they left on a high note.
Mm-hmm.
People were shocked that they were begged not to, and all kinds of money. And that was who was the brains behind that one?
Well, not Norman Lear.
No, but of that generation.
In that generation, yeah.
No, it's Meathead's dad. From what's his name? Who by the way got murdered by his son recently.
I know who you're. Yeah.
Come on,
Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner. It was his dad.
Mm-hmm.
It was Carl
Reiner.
Carl Reiner.
Mm-hmm. Who also died in the last 10 years.
Yeah, well, Carl Reiner.
Well, Carl was
he was in his 90s. Carl Reiner was the writer.
Yes,
he created the Dick Van Dyke Show. So, and he said we're going to do it for 5 years, and then that was it. And they did, and that was a great idea.
You know who else is still alive? Mel Brooks.
Yes,
Mel Brooks.
Yeah,
still alive.
Yeah. We'll take a moment. Sticking sort of with this theme, are we tracking ourselves into insanity? I'll ask that question. We'll get to that right after this. When it comes to home improvement, you've got choices. Let's say there's a hole in the bedroom wall, and somehow nobody in the house knows how it got there. You could fix it. I mean, there's always YouTube, right? But 3 hours later, it's going to look like a patch job. Not even a good patch job. And how about that leak under the kitchen sink? Yeah, you said you'd get to it, and that was what? 2.5, 3 months ago? If we're being honest, we all have that list. The one where deep down, you're not totally sure you've got the skills to pull it off. If it's my list, I'm calling Mac of all trades. Holes in the wall, handled. Leaky sinks, done. Full kitchen remodel? Yeah, they got that too. And hey, warmer weather's coming. How's that deck looking? Need it extended? Rebuilt? Outdoor patio? Don't be a deckhead. Call Mac of all trades, 585-202-9218. That's 585-202-9218. And you can see all they do online at macofalltrades.net. They'll handle it, so you don't have to. You never think you're going to need a personal injury attorney until you do. It's not something you plan for. 1 minute you're just living your life. Next thing you know, you're dealing with an accident, an injury, missed work, and a whole lot of stress you didn't ask for. And here's the truth. Insurance companies, they've got a plan. They know exactly what they're doing. The question is, do you? That's why if it's me, I'm calling Connors and Ferris. They know the system, they know how to fight, and more importantly, they know how to take care of people when things get messy. You're not just a case file to them. They walk you through it step by step and make sure you're not getting pushed around when you're already down. So if life throws you one of those moments, don't try to figure it out alone. Call Connors and Ferris or visit connorsandferris.com with offices in New York City, Syracuse, Rochester, and Buffalo. Because when it matters most, you want someone in your corner who actually knows how to win. Connors and Ferris. I saw today that the Oura Ring is got the 5th edition out. Okay. 40% smaller. It's more like a regular ring. The other rings are big.
They're bulky. Like when somebody's wearing an Oura ring on their index finger, you know.
I know a guy who wears it instead of his wedding ring on his ring finger.
You could do that? I thought it has to be on your index finger because that's the most accurate. That's what I read. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know. I don't know. I think my sister wears it there. I don't know anything about. I don't have that.
Yeah, neither do I. And it's covered by your HSA.
Well,
no, it's not. It's not. I've tried.
But it's like this one, I guess, does hypertension and sleep apnea. And I go, human beings, we used to wake up and we decided how we felt. Now we wait for a piece of fucking jewelry to tell us how we feel. You know what I mean?
I am the biggest violator of that.
What do you mean, violator?
Like Beth goes, how'd you sleep? I go, I thought well, but according to Fitbit.
Why do you keep drifting? Every goddamn show, you come this way a little bit.
Sorry, Billy.
I
don't want to piss you off.
You're not pissing me off. You just like you know.
Sit up like a big boy.
People like to see you. People like to see.
I appreciate that.
They do.
Hi, everybody.
They want to see. Yeah.
Is this show going to run tomorrow? Is it going to run?
It'll run.
Okay. All right. Great.
I don't know.
Claude Lemieux might come back to life by the time.
But there could be. I will say that.
Gotcha.
There have been things. There have been episodes that dropped, and episodes waiting to be dropped, and the episode that dropped had the first part of a story, and the other episode the conclusion, and in between. Shit has gone awry for me, for real.
Again?
No, well, not bad.
More?
No.
Okay, good.
But just like, but yes, like for real, and it's funny to me,
dude. You're like a modern day Taylor Sheridan series, like with the cliffhangers.
Oh,
like every episode of Yellowstone goes and cliffhangs into the next one,
okay.
like Dallas used to.
Yeah. We don't do that enough. All right, we don't really do that, but. My point is that something happened.
Coming up next, Billy's colonoscopy.
Something happened, and then, so I'll tell you off air about it because it's funny. It's just funny. It's funny to me. It's not something I necessarily want to bring on into a microphone right now.
But you are that person who somebody once told me life is a tragedy to those who think and a joke to those, or a joke to those who think and a tragedy to those who feel. And you are a thinker, and you have found the humor in everything.
Well, I'm also,
you have always found the humor in, even like when you would get these emergency calls at work at 8 o'clock in the morning, you'd laugh and have a smile on your face, and you'd somehow get to the next two segments, and then you would compartmentalize and deal with it later.
Yeah,
you're so good at that.
I don't know that that's a very healthy thing. And I will say that that's a pretty accurate statement because I'm trying to learn to sit with the feelings of things. I had avoided feeling for most of my life. Avoidance. And what I've realized is the number of things that I do feel, but I don't know how to feel them. And so I try to overcompensate or go. And it's just been a lot of, I don't think that you can be in grad school to potentially have people sitting across from you looking for some kind of guidance out of their mess unless you've sat in your own mess. You really got to sit in your own mess. You got to see where your blind spots are. You got to see what sort of screwed you up and made you the way you are, and you have to really just feel it and sit with it. And there are times that lately it has been extremely uncomfortable for me. I've had a real hard time. I actually got a call there. Well, here's a little insight, and then I'll get back to the Oura Ring. But I got a call from my mom, and she's saying, I haven't heard from you in a while. I need to hear from you more often, which is, I guess she talked to her therapist, and that's what the therapist told her to say. And I said to her, I understand. I said, I'm dealing with some things right now, and I just can't. I just can't. And I said, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm listening to a book, and I would say for some people it may be a great book. I got it on tape because I just don't really have the time to read another book. But it is called Are You Mad at Me? And it talks about a fawning response. And in the first two chapters, and it's the woman, the author reads it. I had my nervous system was on fire listening to this. Like, it's so uncomfortable. I could relate so well to it. And I saw a lot of things that I do in there. And then I've been going back to say, I've talked about being molested, and I've talked about it a lot, but I don't know that I ever really dealt with it. And so now I'm trying to go back and actually write not what happened. I know what happened. I know 7 ways to get out of a ticket. I'll tie this into what you had just said about me. I realized that there are a lot of things that I have associated sex with being a secret, sex with being something that once you did it, it was almost shameful because you couldn't tell anybody, right? But none of this is really real, but it was real because at 7 years old, you did something that you knew wasn't right. You were told you couldn't tell. You were told your dad would get, you know how mad your dad gets. So already that is in there, and he had a wild temper at times. And so you start to see some of these things and make the connections, and you can kind of, what it does is it cuts the cord for you a little bit, right? You kind of go, okay, that's bullshit. But if you don't do that, you continue to find yourself in patterns of behavior that I don't know necessarily serve whomever. And I'm just saying, and everybody's different. Everybody's got a different thing. So that's what I've been doing. But so when you say like thinker or feeler, I don't know that I'm necessarily a thinker. I do know that like today I was telling somebody something. They're like, oh my God, why would you do that? Why would you, like, what if it doesn't go right? What if I go, then I got a great story. And I'm like, there are many times as I've come through life, and I really think that this started when I was in my teenage years, where I just realized there's nothing serious going on here. I did. I remember like going, what's the meaning of life? And there was all these discussions. It might have been some class we were in, biology. It's 10th grade. And I just remember going, I think the meaning is whatever you apply to it. And as I've gone through, I really believe that. And are there times you get very caught up in being a human being? Yeah, 100%. And do you think things and feel things and sometimes overanalyze things and find yourself in a very mixed up state? Sure, because you're human and it's part of the human experience. But then there are times where I feel like I can step outside everything, including even myself, so to speak, and realize there's really nothing serious going on here. And it is whatever you make it. So if you are going somewhere that you don't want to go, let's say, I have a perfect example. I won't use it exactly, but I'll use it this way. Say you have to go to your spouse's family reunion. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. And you go, God, I can't stand so-and-so. They're always blah, blah, blah. Uncle fat fuck, he spits in his face when he drinks and when he talks, and he's got bad breath. But then if you decide to go, if you make that decision, then line up with the decision and go there.
Lean into it.
But not just lean into it. Start to think of the good qualities of people. And I swear to you, you're going to get more of that and less of his bad breath in your face. As a matter of fact, you may not even really interact with that guy. It really is your play. You get to choose who's in it. You get to choose who's not in it. And you get to choose how the acts go. Right? So I don't want to do this, but I kind of have to do this. I am in a relationship. This is supportive of my spouse. Okay. How's it going to go? And I swear to you, Dan, and I know it sounds woo-woo and bullshit, but I think if you start to just do that, you will realize it isn't all that hard.
No, it's not.
But we make it hard because
we tell ourselves,
well, if we go in
the outcome before we get there.
Sure. You know what he's going to do.
Right.
I know what he's going to do. That fucking guy. Right. And
if you make a game out of it.
Right. But I mean, like,
have some fun with it.
I mean, there are relatives that I go, okay, yeah. But then I go, but goddamn, I just love that this pudgy fuck always wears shirts with no sleeves. Please let him wear shirts with no sleeves. And he shows up with shirts with no sleeves. And I love it. And I go, this is awesome, right? And so, yes, and I would rather have fun than have to deal with shit. I'm not necessarily, I don't enjoy conflict because what's the point? And, so that's it.
No, it makes a ton of sense.
Sorry, you wrote down a lot.
No, I wrote down a couple things. You once told me, hey, no matter what happens, you'll have a great story. About 2 instances in my life.
Okay.
And they were both after we worked together. One was my first marriage. I got a lot of great stories out of that. I got a heck of an education.
Right.
And the other one was when I had a job for as a debt collector. And I got some stories from that.
Yeah.
That people are like, you actually said, no, there's no way that's true. Oh, no, it's true. It's true. So, yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Well, yeah.
Imagine the story. Go look for stories. That's kind of like the thing.
Well,
go look for a story that you're going to get out of this.
Because there's always, somebody said to me, "What if that goes horribly wrong?" I go, "What a story! What a story this would be!" And I'm not saying a story, but it's always like, you know, that person who you really like to see, and they roll up, and you just know that there's something coming that's going to tickle your funny bone. Now, sometimes you're laughing at them. I prefer to be with the people where I can laugh with them.
Right.
Like, one of my favorite people is John, who I see down at Mulconnery's every once in a while. He was the writer for Family Guy for a while and a bunch of different shows. And anytime I see him, I know
You're going to laugh.
I'm going to fucking roar. But he'll have a story, too. And I love it. I love it. And there are times where I have a story, and he makes it funnier. And I love that. And so it's just kind of like, you know what? We take some stuff too seriously. We hold on too tightly. I think it was 38 Special. One of the Van Zandt brothers in that band said, "Hold on loosely, don't let go." And that was about a relationship the guy was in at the time. I think the marriage was falling apart. When you start to squeeze something too tight, you crack it. You break it.
Not too long ago, I went on a vacation with my wife and her mom to Rhode Island to see her family.
Okay.
And initially, I wasn't supposed to go.
Yeah.
And because I'm working stuff, but then my mother-in-law, who's a sweetheart of a woman, says, "Oh, I thought you were coming. Your brother-in-law wants to get to know you a little bit more and all this other stuff." I'm like, "Well, I guess I'm coming then, regardless of work or not. I guess I got to go."
Okay.
So I went, and at the end, she goes, "You were a really good sport about this." I go, "Well, I got to know my brother-in-law a little bit better.
Yeah.
He's a huge records guy, like vinyl records."
Okay.
And not just any vinyl records, like specific vinyl records. And I learned more about music this past weekend just by listening to these records I never would have listened to otherwise. Right. Also, he likes to watch music documentaries. My wife hates them.
You love them.
I love them. We watched the Chili Peppers documentary about Hillel Slovak. And that was interesting. And then we watched the Indy 500 together.
Yeah.
We had a blast. And then we went to a Red Sox game, which was my idea.
Yeah.
And, and he goes, "Man, that was a great idea. Thank you for thinking of that." Yeah. We had a blast this weekend. And what stunk was that the weather wasn't very good.
Okay.
So it was raining outside, like pouring rain. But we figured out ways to have fun. And for sometimes it was just the two of us because the ladies all went out shopping. So I'm not going to leave him behind and go shopping with the girls. I'm going to hang out with him. And I watched a great race.
Yeah.
We watched a great race.
Yeah. I missed it. That was my first job in radio, was board hopping for the Indy 500.
Indy 500? Yeah. And by the way, that's a big deal to a lot of people. It's an underrated event as far as American sports go. Like, it's not like the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball, but there are people who live and die, not just on watching it, but listening to the Indy 500.
Yeah.
I found out this weekend.
Yeah, there are. And I've always wanted to go because you can be on the infield. It's like a big party in there.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to do the infield at the Indy 500. But I have not gone ever. And I should, it's not that far. I should do that.
I also learned how to drive on the Mass Pike. Dude, you want an education.
Yeah, you did.
You know why they came up with the term masshole for a reason.
They did. Yeah. I have to take that when I go to Maine and I see my brother. That's, well, good. I'm glad it worked out. I
wasn't expecting anything bad.
No, but sometimes
I don't get many days off in my job.
Yeah.
So a 4-day weekend just to sit around and just relax at home. I don't know what the weather was like here.
It sucked. It rained the entire weekend.
So I didn't really miss anything other than Greg's big party, which I love going to.
Yeah.
That's always a good time.
And then I have to tell you the funny story.
Oh, okay.
I have a funny story. I have a funny story. And again, like, I can see myself where I'm dysregulated internally about it. But when I step out of myself a little bit and look at it, I go, it's pretty funny. And then I calm down. I don't have that dysregulation, but there's dysregulation. There's almost a feeling of like loss. And when I tell you this, what it is, you'll go, what?
A lot of times when you say the problem out loud, it shrinks your amygdala and it actually helps you ease into the problem and figure out a solution.
It could. I just think
not always,
no, it could. I don't know. I just know that for me, it fits a pattern that I don't like.
Right.
That I'm seeing that I think really stemmed from molestation and everything else.
Now, did the Oura Ring detect that?
Well, see, I don't have the Oura Ring. So
okay.
I don't know. Well, maybe we'll take a break and we'll do the Oura Ring. And
it's funny how, like, you and I, maybe it's my fault, always take another avenue on a topic?
Well, I don't have a problem. I can roll with I think with pretty much anything.
Well, I hope I don't take you off topic.
No, you don't. The thing that there are times where a little behind the scenes, there's a lot of people who are doing podcasts, right? And I think that if you're going to be somebody who, we just have a different working relationship, so do not listen to what I'm saying. In other words, don't take it too seriously.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because you and I have a different relationship, and we came from an environment where it was, I had a bunch of stuff, but if there was shit that was flying against the wall and it was sticking, we were going with
it. Oh, yeah. There was one day where you came in, your neighbor was moving, and he brought over a thumb jug of Jameson the night before. Yeah. So you come in, Danny, I got nothing today. We had one of our best shows ever based on apps. It was like an episode of Seinfeld for 4 hours.
Yeah.
It was great.
But in here, I try to make it so it's things that if somebody discovers the podcast in 5 years, it still had some value at each episode, and so to some degree. I don't know if we're doing that or not, but that's my goal. And but I will say that there are times when someone is kind of leading it, and maybe somebody gets bored with the topic, so they try to change it or throw it out. That's where you have a
disconnect.
Well, it's disjointed for sure, especially if you don't have somebody who can really flex well. But even if they can flex well, there are times where it's just disjointed. And I was listening to something, I go, oh boy, I see that it's not this podcast. It was a different podcast. But and I went, boy, that's a really talented host because he kept that. But there are times, like I'm sure even in here, where I know that there's certain people that sit down and maybe they don't like the topic, so they decide it's not for them and they are going to change it. And I'll roll with that a little bit, but I'll always then try to kind of bring it back, because I think I'm not picking these things necessarily out of thin air. There's a reason behind it, and there's thought behind it, and I think a lot of it is relatable. But that's where I would say if you're doing a podcast, try to keep things in a vein. You and I have a different working relationship, and I think when you just said that, it brought me to talk about things that I probably wouldn't have, that I think may have value for people and interesting, just about, line up with it and go with it and try to look for the fun and the best and figure out your own shit. Because the real thing is, and that's why there are those new opens, and it's like a guy who wants to be a therapist needs a therapist. I always looked for external validation in things for a lot of it, instead of internal validation, which I think is really important. And I can say internal validation, that's where self-esteem and kids and blah, blah. I believe that. I know that. But I sometimes would always look for it. And for me, it was always women. I always needed somewhere with women. And not while I was married, although I learn new things about myself all the time.
Maybe the validation was from your wife.
No, well, maybe that could be. That wasn't what I meant. I just was talking to somebody the other day, and they go, there's some things about you I didn't know, and I go, like, what? And they're like, oh, I heard you left CMF because you were just way too liberal for that station. You couldn't do it. And I just burst out laughing. Dan, I lost it laughing. And I go, I would be more middle of the road politics. I really would. I hate human suffering, but right. So I'm not going to be in line.
No,
you're
definitely like balls and strikes.
Yeah, I think so. So, but that's not why I left. I left because I was trying to have us own the show and hire who we wanted. I could see the writing on the wall, and it was working out. And then somebody got promoted and pulled me in their office and goes, not happening on my watch. And I went, okay. I didn't even argue. I said, okay. Because I wasn't going to get into it with the person because they were looking for that, and I wasn't going to give it to them.
Yeah, of course.
Power's power in my mind. But that was, so I've heard that. I've heard things about my marriage that weren't true. All this in recent. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I'm going, boy, I'm like, no.
Charlie Murphy, this was years ago.
I know. But I'm like, I went to other stations after that in town. They didn't talk. They were talking specifically about CMF, how much they really enjoyed that show, but I heard you left because you're really liberal and the station was changing. And I go, let me just say this. I know what you're doing. You're trying to say that I was the Trump thing. I fucking left in 2015. The guy wasn't even on the political landscape.
No, you left in 2013. 13.
Oh, yeah, 13.
December 7th, 2013 was your last show. It was a night show.
Yes.
It was the Christmas party.
Yes. So my point being, like, that wasn't true. That wasn't, I don't even know how that could become well, I heard that. I go, okay, well.
Yeah, I hear a lot of things too.
That was phenomenal to me. All I could do was laugh. So what I'm saying is, like, even that shit never bothers me. I never really cared necessarily what other people thought of, but there were certain people that I did, and I don't know. I don't know what happened to me that a validation from a woman, I can make bad choices after that, buy me a drink and be a little flirty. And I have a dumb big
Buy
person.
me a drink, sing me a song, take me. How's it work?
It's Tom Petty.
Yeah. Take me as I am because I can't stay long. Last Dance with Bill Moran.
Oh, God. I would just say that I don't think that the way you steered this was bad at all. I don't.
Cool, because there's a couple other avenues I could have steered it into and decided not to.
Give me.
Okay, for the Michael Jackson topic.
Yeah.
This guy reminds me of the old boss we had. He died that week too. Do you remember the guy? Because when you said Flex, I immediately thought of Flex Tape. Who was the big infomercial guy of the early 2000s? Billy Mays.
Yes, Billy Mays.
Billy Mays died that same weekend that Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett died.
How did he die? Too much dying?
No, he had a heart attack.
Okay.
But he was on a plane, and the plane like had a weird landing, and he hit his head on the overhead compartment. They interviewed him. Yeah, I'm fine. He ends up going home and dying that night. And so of course you brought up the topic because he was a nut. 2, he looked like an old boss we had, and 3, he looked Grandpa like Munster with the earring.
I thought
the guy you had the conversation with. That's not going to happen under my watch. Yeah, they forced him out too.
Did they?
Oh yeah. He won't admit that. He says he retired, but yeah, okay. This is the same guy who told everybody they had pancreatic cancer and probably didn't. But, dude, nobody beats that.
No, well, I don't. I'm not going to.
No, the point is, though, Billy Mays, right? So they had the 911 call, and you said, I hate when people release 911 calls. Anyway, here it is. And the 911 guy goes, dude, he's blue. Like, in other words, he's already dead. There's nothing we can do for him. He's gone. Like, the paramedics are like, he's blue. He's blue. Like, Billy Mays and I'm blue and I'm dead. Like, that was like, those were the things that we were doing because he was such an over-the-top
respectful
infomercial guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you asked me on your quiz if Billy Mays was still alive, I would say, yeah.
No, they replaced him with the British dude. I don't even know if he's still alive.
The British dude.
There's some British guy.
Yeah. All right. We'll take a moment.
The other topic was irrelevant.
And then we'll go, what was it?
There's a lot of people out there who think the Bills are switching affiliates because of the criticism.
Oh, God.
And it's like, you guys are so stupid.
All right.
You think you know everything. I got news for you. You don't know jack. Okay? It has nothing to do.
Do you feel
Everybody
better?
criticizes.
Do you feel better?
That's why I want to bring it up.
Do you feel better? It would have bothered you. It would have bothered you. You would have stared at it over and over on a piece of paper.
Okay, I probably would.
Yeah, yes.
But the point is, though, is it had nothing to do with anything.
No,
it was business. That's all it was. No,
they changed affiliates. Because,
everybody criticizes the Bills.
It's like, watch what happens. You need I don't know what you need. You need some kind of Oura Ring to go find where baseball games are today. You know what I mean?
You do.
You really do.
You do.
Like, I was going to watch one today, and I have Apple TV, but I don't know that I have set it up in the studio, and I can never remember the passwords and shit, and I didn't want to go through that, so I just listen to music. But I would have loved to have the Cubs and the Astros on. I would have loved to. I just like the sound of a ball game. I do, and I've gotten more into baseball. I was a huge baseball kid, and then I just was like, and then
didn't Lou Pennell be like, or Ron Guidry?
It was Ron Guidry. Ron Guidry. I screamed at him when I was 8.
What?
Yeah, he screamed up from the bullpen.
Hi.
What? I was like, all right. Are we tracking ourselves into insanity? Get to that. I promise. Right after this. You ever notice how people drive around with a garage full of junk while complaining they're broke? if you don't have any friends that do that, it might be you. How about that rusty grill? Maybe you got a pile of copper wire or a random chunk of metal that's been sitting behind the shed since the Clinton administration. Yeah, all of that is money. And that's where Premier Metal Recycling comes in. These guys know value, like real value, not internet math, actual cash value. Whether it's scrap steel, copper, brass, aluminum, Premier Metal will tell you what it's worth and put money in your hand. Honestly, it's one of the few places left where cleaning out your garage can actually pay off. They have 2 convenient locations, 909 West Linden Avenue in East Rochester and 11 Carn Street in downtown Rochester. You can also check daily pricing and exactly what materials they're buying at premiermetalgroup.com. Or, if you're feeling friendly, give them a call directly at 585-436-4020. Premier Metal Recycling, because your junk pile might actually be your emergency fund. Danny says those stories are compelling and rich. They are. I mean, I know. I can't really, I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, no, of course not.
But you understand?
It's your story to not tell.
Well, but they're great, are they not?
They're great stories.
They are great stories. I think. I just go, wow, that is interesting. It's interesting. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? We started to say, and we'll get to this. Just follow me through this a little bit, if you will, because you are a person who benefited from a device.
Yes.
But
which I didn't buy. My wife bought for me.
Okay. But I know people who slept great until their watch tells them otherwise. And then they're like, yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm just exhausted today. And I go, what are we doing? Because it used to be, wearables to me was like, hey, cool, I walked 8,000 steps today, right? Mm-hmm. And now it's tracking your, let me rephrase that. What I wrote in my notes is, it's sleep judges, right? Because that's what it is. It's sleep judges, heart monitors, stress detectors, oxygen trackers, recovery coaches. And I'm going, this is a tiny digital hypochondriac on your wrist.
Yes.
That's what it is.
That's all it is.
Well, is it though? Because I don't know. It could be both helpful, which we do know that it can be, and at the same time, I think psychologically damaging. If there's such a way, because
it gives you the percentiles of where you are at your age, at your height, at your weight, versus the rest of the people at your age, at your height, at your weight. And you're like, oh, man. Or, yeah, I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah. But you had a Fitbit.
I have a Fitbit.
You have a Fitbit, excuse me. And it's one you wear on your wrist.
Yes.
And it told you something was wrong before you knew something was wrong.
Yes.
And it was
It told me I had AFib in 2023.
Which is what? Atrial
fibrillation. It's when your heartbeat, your heart goes out of whack.
Yeah. Okay. So irregular heartbeat.
Yes.
Right. But it helped you, and they're scientifically. Well, I shouldn't say scientifically but they have been accurate in detecting specifically that for people. Mm-hmm. They really have. So, in that sense, you're glad you had it?
Yes.
Yeah. And then, but at what point does it become paranoia? And I don't know for
immediately thereafter.
Okay.
For me, because then it's like, what else is going on inside this ticker? And like every morning, first thing I do, I pray, read the Bible, go to Fitbit. Hey, how did I do last night?
Okay.
How did I sleep? And then like this weekend when I was out with family, they're like telling me their sleep scores are in the 90s and mine's only in the 70s to 80s. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What's going on in my body that I can't sleep as well as these people?
I failed the sleep test.
My wife had 4 cocktails and she had a 96. I didn't drink it all and I had a 79. What's going on? Do I have is it the medication I'm on? Is it this? Why is my HRV so low? Is that normal for me?
The heart rate variable?
Yeah, heart rate variance. Well, my doctor says that's nothing.
No.
Other people are like, oh, it should be in the 50s for your age.
I'm doing I'm helping our class is helping put together a story, but a research project, but heart rate is very so HRV monitors are. I'm going to buy one. I think they're like $200. But the heart, and this is more to see what happens when people meditate versus not meditate to their heart rate. What happens in certain healing modalities, whether they are legitimate, and you can see some real heart rate variability in there. That's interesting. Anyway, I don't know, Dan. I think when I think of you, I go worthwhile investment. I really do. I mean, you're the one guy that I go, well, okay, because you're the only one I know. My sister will tell me the Oura Ring tells me I'm sick before I'm actually sick, and then man,
I've heard that
I can get ahead of it.
You can get ahead of it, right?
So I go, okay,
it's a Paranora ring.
Yes, see, okay, a Paranora ring. I totally get it, but it's like, okay, so when do we start? Because I don't know how I slept until I look at my sleep tracker. I don't know how I feel until whatever. You wind up canceling plans because it's telling your recovery is low. So I'm not going to go out tonight.
Or you won't work out, even though you feel like you could, and you should, because my Oura Ring or my Fitbit tells me, take it easy today. A light walk around 5 o'clock would do the trick. Because now with AI, you have this coach who's telling you what to do. And then he's asking you, or she, or it, whatever, is asking you questions. And then you answer the questions.
See, if I had one of these.
Your heart rate seems off today. Did you take this survey? I've taken like 16 surveys in the last 3 weeks. Wow, something's off.
This is phenomenal. So I would see, here's the thing. I would wake up at 3 a.m. on purpose to see if it yelled at me or caught me. Yeah. Or did it still think I was sleeping? I want to.
Oh, yeah. There have been times where, like, okay, here's the other thing. They're not foolproof. I've mowed the lawn.
Yeah.
And my Fitbit will tell me that was a great elliptical workout for an hour.
Well,
and it's like, no.
But could it be the equivalent of that?
Well, here's the thing. When you're on, I have a 0-turn mower, so you're moving.
Oh,
you're
sitting.
Yeah, I'm sitting. Right. I'm not using an elliptical. I'm on a riding mower. All I'm doing is moving my hands. My old drummer, like the steps you get when you play the drums. You're like moving your hands the whole time. He's like, what's his name? Like Lars Ulrich. He goes, I took like 10,000 steps this afternoon. In fact, our friend Doug has a joke about wearing a Fitbit in masturbating.
Yeah.
It says, I got my workout in.
Yeah.
Because Fitbit registers that as a walk.
Yeah. That's so. Does it tell you about stress?
It tells you that you may have stress. It doesn't tell you about stress.
Or anything with anxiety.
Do you have stress?
Oh, okay.
Right.
Because I feel like we've invented an anxiety detector that actually gives us anxiety.
Right.
That's all I can think of.
It's cyclical.
When I was looking at this stuff and thinking about you and having it, and then kind of knowing that you're the
a little paranoid as it is.
Yeah. But I learned a term I didn't know. Orthosomnia. It's the obsession of getting perfect sleep, and it's really because of sleep trackers.
Oh, yeah.
Orthosomnia.
There's guys who do YouTube videos about this stuff.
They do not.
I'm not joking. There's a gentleman, he's trying to live to be like 150. Oh, there's a couple of them.
Yeah, but that's that rich guy.
Yeah, he's super rich. He looks like...
He doesn't look great.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't look as young as his body clock says he is.
I mean, he looks young.
He does, but he looks almost skeletal. Does that make sense? Like almost emaciated. Yeah. Brian Johnson's his name.
Yeah.
That's right, because I remember he sounds like the lead singer of AC/DC.
Right.
And, he's like, he gets like blood work done, all this stuff.
I should get him on.
And he goes, my sleep scores are in the 99s.
Yeah. Well,
here's what I do. I go, well, I do all that stuff too. Why is my sleep score around 80?
Well, okay. Exactly what you're saying. Some experts, from what I read, said that some of these sleep trackers, because we get anxiety about how I sleep, how we compare our sleep to other people's sleep, why am I getting a score of 80 and you drank and you got a score of 90, that it can actually worsen your sleep overall, and your obsession is, when I think of these things and I think of the stuff now, and I don't know if you think of this, but I would think, like, if my grandfather were alive, and I go, Hey, Billy, how are you? Yeah, Grandpa, I not so good today. My Oura Ring told me I only got 14% of the new moon sleep I need. I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I always think like, or, the restorative rest that at what point, they never had these things before.
No.
And I guess people were dying, yes, of course. But it's like we can no longer eat dinner, sleep, walk without having some kind of analytical metrics to it.
We did it all the time. I think people got paranoid and like, well, we talked about it in the first segment, people just dropping dead.
Yes.
Why is that?
Yes.
And you find out, okay, like Kano, our friend Kano said, if you can get through the 50s, you got a pretty good shot at getting to 70. That's what he always used to say. He goes, but it's the 50s that are the trickiest time. I know that's the time that you're in right now. But you're in pretty good shape. And you have good heart rate.
And I don't.
Like your VO2 max should tell you like where you're kind of at on the spectrum. But that's another measurable.
Yeah.
Okay. But mine's very good for my age. It's not excellent, but it's very good. But, with all these, we go after these tools because we want to know, why did Dad die at 58? Why did my sister die at 51?
Sure.
Why did, was there something I could have foreseen if I had this tool earlier? Yeah. The tool's available. Yeah. Why don't I use it? Now, this was not my idea. My wife goes, I want to get you something for Christmas. It's around 2020. I go, okay. She goes, you never wear a watch. I go, I don't. I've never really worn a watch. I go, I have, but they've all broken. I never got them fixed. I'm going to get you a watch. Well, I figure she's going to get me like one of those, like a Bulova watch or a watch that you could wear like and look fancy. Oh, no, she gets me a Fitbit. But it's actually more valuable because it actually gives you real information. Yeah. Problem is that it'll make it nuts. Oh, and you got to pay for a subscription for it to get the nutty information.
Yeah.
$89 a year to tell you you're not sleeping great, bro.
Well, here's the way I see it. We used to go for a walk to clear our heads, right? A lot of times you take a walk, clear your head. I found that to be beneficial at times in my life. And now I go, if I don't get some kind of analytical metric, and I don't have any of these devices, but most people, it's a meaningless walk if I don't have that. And I go, I feel like we're losing some of the stuff. Like, we don't trust ourselves anymore. We wake up in the morning, and you've even said this, I feel amazing, but then you look at your Fitbit, and it says sleep quality was poor, and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm done today.
I guess not. I'm starting to yawn. It's only 8:30.
Right. And I go, I don't know if all this information, and we could take it beyond these devices, the Oura Rings, the Apple Watches, the Fitbits, into anything. Should we have that much access to information? 24/7 heart rate data. Should we have that? I don't know. Oxygen levels. Should we have it?
Yeah, what does oxygen level even mean, too?
I don't know.
Like the thing is like a SPO score, the SPO score.
Mine is like 94% oxygen. Yeah, it should be 97. I'm in 97.
Yeah, so like every night for me, it's different. And I have a freaking CPAP, so I have oxygen being blown into my nose. I'm
going to admit something to you that I shouldn't admit. I've admitted on the podcast, but when you weren't here, every once in a while, a cigarette might pop into my world. And and I've done that for years.
Yeah, you're the Ben Affleck meme.
I am.
Somebody give me my Duncan.
I said to somebody, I go, well, it's like breath control. They go, no, it's not. That's ridiculous. And I go, well, no, it is. Because you're breathing in and then you're breathing out.
And they're starting to find that nicotine is actually becoming beneficial.
Don't
but not
do
the
this.
Smoke.
No,
I know. Because nicotine can kill you too.
Of course.
But prescribed nicotine could actually help with certain situations.
Okay. I mean, I would believe that to be
now it
true.
Needs to be more tested, and you're never going to get the right information because somebody's going to try to withhold it. But there are people who believe that nicotine can actually help with conditions like autism and other stuff.
Okay. And you know what? I am happy that they're doing that research.
Yes.
To be quite honest
Let's
with you,
find out.
But here's what I wrote down. Experts have even warned about wearable-induced health anxiety, where people obsess over normal fluctuations in heart rate, sleep, and recovery metrics. And then I started to think about this. I go, we're the first generation to biohack immortality in real time. I mean, we really are. In essence, that's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. We're trying to figure out, how do we beat this? How do we beat the clock? How do we whatever? Because people are cold plunging. Right?
Yeah, that was huge. And then all of a sudden people are like, maybe it's not as beneficial as we think.
I think they've done it for years in Sweden and other places.
They've done sauna. Not necessarily cold plunging, but sauna, yes.
Yeah.
Sauna has just been proven time and time again that sauna bathing 4 to 7 days a week will increase your health span.
But then mouth taping is one I'm hearing about now, where you tape your mouth.
That only works if you don't have sleep apnea.
Okay.
If you have sleep apnea and you tape your mouth, you might end up choking.
Magnesium stacking. I didn't even know that was a term.
Yeah, because there's like 4 or 5 different types of magnesium.
Okay. I see. I don't know this.
Oxide is junk. If you have magnesium oxide, it's worthless. It doesn't absorb. You only absorb maybe 10% of the magnesium you take anyway.
Is it magnesium
glycinate is the one that helps you sleep. But there's also magnesium citrate and another one. Stay away from oxide. It's garbage. But
how do you know?
Because I've done my research.
Okay. How many videos did you watch?
About 1,600.
Okay. This is where I love the research portion, because this is where I get, and don't take this the wrong way.
No, I got it.
But research used to be, I went out and I read articles and I looked up the doctor and I did this. Now I went to YouTube and I watched 16 videos, but the algorithm's going to keep feeding you the same thing.
No, I know.
So, but.
Let me give you 3 words. Dr. Rhonda Patrick.
Don't know.
She's helpful.
Okay. All right.
She's very helpful. She goes, 5 supplements is all you need. Here are the 5.
Yeah.
That she gives you. And she actually talked about, this is fantastic. She was on Diary of a CEO with that guy. And she goes, listen, a lot of people like to walk for exercise, and that's great. But if you really want to get a good exercise in every day and stave off cancer and all-cause mortality by 40 to 50%, all you need is 10 minutes of vigorous exercise. 10 minutes a day. A day. You got to keep doing it.
Well,
and that's it.
Alvio was in here.
I saw that
recently, and we had a great conversation.
Yeah, it sounded like I get a chance to listen, but
thanks. I really appreciate it.
Well, I'm a busy guy.
I'm teasing you. Yeah. I'm totally kidding.
I'll like the right song.
But he said to me,
called my friend Bill. He's a therapist.
I did not. There is an interesting just Elvio story with me and Elvio that I talked to. There was a day when it was DeTulio Moran, John was off, and I asked Elvio to come in because I wanted to reveal this story of what had happened. And it was fantastic. But I wasn't going to do it here. Mm-hmm. I wanted to talk about. I find it interesting when
his life, his career.
Well, I call the episode "Dreams Don't Die" because of that. But Elvio, to your 10-minute piece, said that I know a gym that he works out at, and he's like, you don't want to go there because I'm in and out in a half hour. He goes, those, and you have a trainer, and he goes, they come in and they just crank you for a half hour, and he goes, and that's
and you're done.
And then you're done. And he goes, I'm exhausted, but he goes, it's great, and because of that, and that's the thing is what I'm saying is like staring at your HRV score, wearing glucose monitors after eating blueberries.
Yeah, I can't do that. Because I know for a fact that I will like literally. Oh my goodness!
Yes. Do you see what I'm saying?
I gotta stop eating. Right. Everything, because your blood glucose is always going to go up when you eat.
But it's like we're trying to out-negotiate death.
Right. Think about this, Bill. Think about this. Go to any old-timey cemetery in town. There's 100 of them, right? And take a pencil and a piece of paper if you can't read the limestone and just, do the thing. Figure out how long people lived. People did for like from the year 0 BC or whatever, or 5,000 BC, all the way to about, let's say the beginning of the Great Depression. People only lived maybe 40 to 60 years. That's why when Social Security was invented, they said 65. There's no way anybody's going to live this long. Yeah. What happened? Oh, after World War II, we started living longer lives. We started getting more information. We started learning, and our information doubled at a much more exponential rate about our health and everything else. Yeah. It was rare to live to 60, 70, 80 years old.
It was.
So now we actually live in the easiest time to be alive, and now somehow, no, screw it. Let's eat as much as possible and go backwards. We don't need these devices. All we just need to do is just, you have the medication now.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the other thing.
Take care of yourself. Go to the doctor.
I went, there used to be, when I lived over in Pittsford, across the street, there was an old graveyard. And I remember going in there with the boys when they were little and seeing that the average age was 35. And I think that was the average age for many, many years on this planet. So what happened? Well, we're better. And it is the information. I will give that. But I'll also throw this out there, too. Right now, somewhere in the world, Keith Richards is eating a cigarette and he's still alive. So I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like that's the stuff.
Well, like Mick works out like a fiend.
Yes.
So do you think it kind of balances it out?
I don't know.
You think it's like contagious? Like it kind of like
think
he works out for 2 people? Like, they say pregnant women have to eat for 2 or 3 people?
Look, I love
He's like working out for 2 people, and the other person is Keith. Because without Keith, where you get Nils Lofgren in the band? It's not the Stones anymore.
Nils was supposed to. Nils wrote a song that I would play, but we usually get tapped for copyright. I'm pretty sure he wrote a song, Keith, Please Don't Go, meaning don't die. He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I haven't heard it in years. Maybe I'll go get that today. But I will say that these devices to me have value. I do see that. They're incredible tools. I see what it did for you. But I think until they become dictators of your life, that's the part that I'm not necessarily in love with.
Right. Like
and that's why I've hidden away from it.
Right now, a lot of this all started, you're going to laugh. A lot of this all started with baseball.
Oh, sure.
Analytics.
Yes.
It wasn't called analytics then. It was called sabermetrics. Then it was called performance analysis.
I don't even, I'm calling it analytics. But I think it's metrics.
So now everything just shortened to analytics. But here's what because Nate Silver, the guy who from 538, who predicts all the elections, everything's look for the signal, not the noise, was his big book. He started out as a baseball writer for Baseball Prospectus. And these guys, Bill James was the father of analytics, right? The average baseball, the batting average now, is 239, which is a joke. Okay? 239. That's the worst that it's been since the dead ball era. You want to know why? Because analytics got involved and said, hey, don't worry about hitting a single. Just swing for the fence.
Yeah.
We're better off with you swinging for the fence. If you strike out 1,000 times a year, who cares? Right? And it's kind of ruined the game. It's made it more efficient, but it's not as much fun.
Well, it's not, but it is. At the same time, when you've got Shohei
Ohtani,
who
he's a freak.
He pitched. I thought he was injured. They weren't sure he was going to play. He pitches, and for the second time in a row, first at bat, leadoff batter for the Dodgers,
home run,
first play, home run.
Yes,
home run.
You're like he's this generation's Babe Ruth.
It's or better. I mean, clearly better.
And this is in a league where Aaron Judge is going to etch himself and DiMaggio out of the Yankees.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore.
Sure.
Okay. That's how good Ohtani is.
Yeah. I could totally see that. I just wonder with these devices, the danger I see in it is we almost stop experiencing life, not necessarily living it, but experiencing it to the fullest, like having a cheat day, whatever, and all we do is start to audit it.
Right.
And so we're auditing all this information. And I go, some people seem to be in an abusive relationship
with themselves and their devices.
With their Apple Watch.
You want to talk about technocracy? Technocracy. You're wearing
an emotionally abusive relationship.
With your phone.
Yes.
And your watch.
Yes.
Tony Robbins says nobody lives life. They live the life they focus on.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, yes. Yes.
That's the point.
Yes.
So, go live life. Go focus on better stuff.
Go live life. You know what to do.
Go to DeBella's. Have that freaking sub that's going to have nitrates and give you cancer.
I did for a while.
It's okay to once in a while.
I need a cigarette.
It's okay to have a cocktail once in a while.
Yes.
Sorry, my Christian friends. It's okay to have a cocktail once in a while.
Once in a while. But I think I take it too far sometimes. But I enjoy it.
Yeah, you got that gene.
It is a weird
thing. Billy gene.
Not my club. I don't remember what
I drank club soda, but it don't give me a buzz. But I'll buy 5,000 on whiskey.
I didn't, though.
I
did not.
But you wanted to.
I was close. I would have done it.
Oh, we're done?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Did you have more? I have more.
You have more? Let's keep talking. You got stuff to do.
I have stuff I got to do, and I've got, I'm going to hold this one segment because it's just a you segment.
Okay.
It's for you and me.
All right. Can you give us a preview so that next time we do it,
yes,
people will look forward to it?
Yes, okay. I can.
Is it about vitamins?
No, it's a. Can parents ruin somebody's life with the name they give them? Okay.
Okay.
Ken Parents. I think that was in my notes. Let me
Interesting.
see.
Because my father's name was Daniel Borello. They called him Butch
Yeah.
long before I came into the picture.
Can parents give you a horrible name? A horrible name. Can parents give you a horrible name? And I that's what I wrote down. Because I saw something that I wasn't sure was real. It was presented as a headline, as a news story. But I didn't think it was real. I still don't think it's real, but I think it's interesting. And
Okay.
yeah, we'll get
Looking
into
forward to that.
Oh, okay. And then whatever nutty stories come along, It's always fun, Danny.
See who else dies this next
Yeah,
week.
there you go. For Dan Barillo, I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you next time. I am with one of Fairport's celebrities, Mary, who I didn't know her last name because most people call you Gas Station Mary.
Correct.
Right. But why is that? Because that's where you...
Because I run a gas station.
Yeah, that's what I just to let people know.
Yep.
But her real name is Mary Carey, which I you must... Is that bad? Should I not say that?
No.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Because I think most people would... I don't know. I'm trying to think of nicknames for you and stuff when you were a kid.
She's like the mayor of Fairport.
She is like the mayor of Fairport. This is the thing. And she said to me, I want to help the VFW because they're helping to celebrate America's 250th birthday. Yep. And it's a big deal. And I said, sure, that would be fine. And that's what we're doing. What is happening with the VFW?
June 13th is just this is going to be just a big event for America's 250th, and we're going to get everybody amped for the actual birthday.
I love it.
Right. And so that's why we're doing it June 13th. Right.
So June 13th, if I show up, what can I expect?
Lots of
Okay.
things.
Well, see, now that's not telling me anything.
Well,
give me specifics.
we're going to have a food truck. It's
I'm
gonna
not
be
sure the
hamburgers
name of
and
the
hot
food
dogs.
truck, but it's veteran-owned food truck.
Yeah.
This is okay. I love great. Now I think that's an important piece of information. Are you learning?
I'm learning.
I'm teasing you. Okay, so there'll be the food truck.
Yeah. And then we'll have a 50-50 draw. And then we're going to have raffle baskets off, things
Yep.
from, so many people in the community gave. And then we have high-end whiskeys
Yeah.
that we're going to do a separate raffle for.
Yeah.
Some really good stuff like Weller's,
Yeah.
Blanton's Gold,
That's some good stuff.
some samurai shit.
Some what?
Some samurai shit.
Oh,
Some ball's got a
Like-
samurai on top.
Oh,
Right?
No,
okay.
really
Let's
cool
go.
though. Really,
I'm sure it is extremely cool, but it sounds like it's from Asia. Is it an
Japan.
Asian? Okay, so that would be Asia, a Japanese whiskey.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
That. And Iron Smoke donated a barrel. So the local artist is going to paint it with the American flag on one side and the 250th on the other. And we'll raffle that off.
Oh, I
too.
want that.
And Jumbo Shrimp will be playing
Love Jumbo Shrimp.
from 7 to 10.
Yep. Tom and Ian. I love those guys. I think that. So from what time?
7 to 10.
7 to 10. Is this all inside, outside, combo?
It's going to be a combo. We're going to
Yeah.
have, if it's nice, obviously, we're going to have people outside. We'll have some things going on outside.
Yeah, the cornhole.
Start the raffles and such, I believe, at 5 p.m. But, I mean, if anybody wants to come earlier in the day, we open at noon, and it'll be open.
Okay.
We'll be open for everybody at noon that day.
At noon that day.
Right. The raffles.
We open the
and
door at 11:30 for you, just in case.
Okay.
The raffles will start around 5 p.m.
Okay.
And I think by 6:30, 6:45-ish is we're going to have just a very short, I don't want to say ceremony, but little birthday celebration on the hill. A couple people will say a few words, hopefully, about
I think
how
Mary has
great our
bagpipes, right? You got bagpipes? Well,
Yes, 3.
after
Yeah,
a little birthday celebration on Freedom Hill. We're going to go right into Jumbo Shrimp, tearing the place up.
I hope everyone comes out for the 250th on June 13th. I hope that
Again, open to the public.
open to the public.
Everybody's welcome. 300 Macedon Center Road,
Okay.
just outside the village.